just even just driving up to the building, the experience is transformative every time. Like there's a delay on the gate when you put your card at the reader, and then you've got like 10 or 15 seconds to hang out before you can proceed. And it's like just staring at it every time. And it always gets me. I can't remember a time that I've like looked away or looked at my phone or looked at, whatever. It's like there's a reverence to it, that like sort of welcome that's pretty amazing. I mean, right now we're in this amazing, what I refer to as the industrial cathedral, because it's an 85-foot tall, open, amazing, beautiful space with two Curtis vertical steam turbines in here that are about 50 some feet tall to the top. And then all the accoutrements, the transformers, the flywheels, the generators, the centrifugal brakes, and the all of the pieces and the oil that made it all keep going. Not without the PCBs, but
those came from the running.
Yeah. But like the turbines are the last two existing versions of the Curtis vertical steam turbine in place in the world. So this is the last place they will ever be seen as they were 112 or 113 years ago. And all of the other pieces that were basically just turned off in 1977 and walked away from, as if they'd be back the next day, but they didn't come back because it was done.
This is Signal Radio. My name is Mark Johnson. I'm an architect and founder of Signal Architecture and Research, where we create spaces and places that do something. They're loved, they're cared for, and they work really well. The Georgetown steam plant was a hard-working place in Seattle for about half a century, but today it's an industrial cathedral, looking for new ways to contribute to the community. I often say that we design places for people we haven't met yet, those living in 50 years or 100. That's what this project is all about. The steam plant's older than all of us, and it will outlive all of us. Touching it, working with it, is a huge responsibility and a huge honor. I had the chance to talk with Sam Farrazaino of Equinox Studios, who's our client for the project, part of a big team of stakeholders, the person who had the vision and the will to make this happen, about the opportunity that the plant offers. So when we bring things like this into a new life, do you think that people who build them or think about them or can create the next lives for these things, what do you think they need to know in order to follow in those footsteps of seeing how it's made and knowing how it works?
That's a good question. I think for me, I feel like my responsibility in this is to provide opportunity for inspiration, and that if I can create the space for people to walk in and have their minds blown by the industrial cathedral, watch the sun streaming in at 7 o'clock on a summer evening and lighten up the condenser and like watch their heart sing in that. Like, if I can create that space, I think that's my responsibility. From there, I think it's a collective responsibility to carry it into the future. I can do so much here, and eventually I'll go away, and hopefully there's enough collective wisdom and inspiration to carry it for the next 60 years and then hopefully beyond. So I guess that's why I'm here. Just trying to create space for inspiration.
So you're going to be here for another 60 years.
Yes.
So you'll be
141.
now? You'll be 141. So
I was never really great at math.
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be here for another 60 years. How, when these kind of things come into our world and our communities get lucky enough for you to say there's a spark there, how do we build belief around these things? Like, it's not easy. This is not easy work. And how do we build belief around the not easy work?
I think it's probably being patient. And going back to that creating space, but not just where you sit back and wait for people to show up, but actually doing work and going out and really dragging people kicking and screaming if you have to here and into the process and into relationship with the rest of the community and then with the building. And I think, we've been sitting back in our meetings and our spaces from the beginning of this going, oh, well, we got to do this. We got to get the people inspired, get the people engaged, do this thing. And now it's really at that point that we actually have to show up in the communities, get out of the office, get out of the steam plant, and get to the people and provide not only the opportunity, but the invitation and the help them feel like the valuable resource that they are, and that they can have a say in this, and that they can influence what we do, and that they can be a part of it, and it can be what we start, but what they carry. I think that's the challenge right now, honestly, because so many people have been left out for so long. And we, as the privileged sitting here going, oh, well, we got to get them involved, have to figure out how we undo all of that negative expectation to get them ready and excited and empowered and actually believing that we care and that we want them to take this and run with it. And undoing some of the things that the rules have done up in that way of making it unbelievable when people come to communities. The process has often excluded people or done some whitewashing to the, like, hey, we really care about what you think. Okay, well, anyway. And I think undoing some of that and building the trust that we need to get this right that's the big challenge.
What are some of the tools you think we can use to build trust with?
Time is probably a big one. I think translation, like having the patience to help having the patience to sit with people in their understanding and in their culture and in their space and in their community in the way that they take things in, that they experience this, and not, getting out of, for me, it's getting out of my ego that I have this brilliant, amazing, incredible idea and oh my God, and getting to, hey, there's this thing that would really benefit from you being a part of it. How do we translate that in that way? Other tools to do that, I think, are we're currently in this space of trying what we're calling micro community meetings, which is the one-on-one tour through the plant, or 2 people or 5 people, or a birthday party or a dance party or a poetry reading or a poet having time to sit and read, and surreptitiously pulling their experience from them in exchange for that, and being in that relationship that then we can get what inspires them and what doesn't. And I think that that experience as a tool to get to where we're going is really helpful. But I think it's the first is how do you inspire people to come and do that, to believe in the potential of something here enough to take time out of a work week or a weekend with family or whatever it is and come and like invest that moment here. For me, what I see is the big thing is the potential. I see this place filled with people. I'm looking up at the galleries here, which are the 4 mezzanine levels above in the clear open space here, and having seen performances like where you hear the planes go through and then you take the Georgetown pause. I think that was the UPS from Cleveland, the 525 from Cleveland. But seeing dance performances, seeing theater, that being down here and seeing people on the balconies, interpreting the machine that this building was in a theatrical way or a dance performance. For me, I see the light in all the layers and the shadows that make it beautiful.